Hello everyone and welcome back to Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. I'm going to start with this. SEC issues investor alert urging caution around crypto. The U.S. SEC has issued an official investor alert urging caution around crypto. Specifically, the regulator has cited digital assets that may not comply with various U.S. laws and called for investors to carefully consider their entry. I believe they don't want any new investors coming into crypto. At the same time, they're trying to push current investors out. They don't want me or you holding crypto, period. That's what this comes down to. SEC charges Tron's Justin Sun and celebrities including Lindsay Lohan and Jake Paul. The SEC charged crypto entrepreneur Justin Sun and three of his companies, including digital asset network company Tron Foundation Limited, for the unregistered offer and sale of two crypto asset securities, while also accusing 8 celebrities of violating securities laws and touting related tokens. Now, as far as the 8 celebrities, I believe they probably got handed a script and a paycheck. They probably had no idea what they were even talking about. That's why I always told you should never invest in anything that celebrities are pushing. But this looks like it's something much bigger. Think about it. It looks like another SEC shakedown. Same way they shook down Kim Kardashian. We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. Coinbase received a Wells notice from the SEC. We asked the SEC for reasonable crypto rules for Americans. We got legal threats instead. Sounds a lot like what happened with Ripple. Ripple went in, met with the SEC. They were fully transparent and got hit with a lawsuit. It looks like the same thing is happening to Coinbase. Ripple CTO reacts to Coinbase getting SEC Wells notice. In a series of tweets, Schwartz criticized the SEC's actions, suggesting that they may be motivated by incompetence or desire to protect insiders and early investors. Schwartz's comments were in response to Coinbase receiving a Wells notice from the SEC, which typically precedes an enforcement action. Unless you wanted to allow the founders, insiders, and early investors to profit and then shift much of the losses due to this litigation onto a large number of retail investors, I guess it could also just be incompetence that they didn't notice this sooner, he tweeted. So why didn't the SEC notice this sooner? Why didn't they go after Coinbase a long time ago? The Ripple executive questions the SEC's motivation behind a recent enforcement action. If this is the SEC protecting American investors, imagine if they tried to hurt them, he quipped. And again, the SEC is not helping me or you in any way. They're looking out for the big banks. He expressed frustration with the SEC's application of the Howey test, which he described as not being simple as some people believe, since the agency struggles to determine whether or not Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency, is an unregistered security. His comments echo those made by Meta's former blockchain lead, David Marcus, who noted that even the top securities lawyers at major law firms don't know how it applies to many tokens. The Howey test doesn't apply because it's outdated. We need a new test for newer technology. That's why Ripple needs to win against the SEC. Then maybe moving forward, we'll have the Ripple test. Enemy of my enemy is my friend. Now, this is coming off of they're asking, would Ripple support Coinbase? In a tweet today, Alderati appears to throw his weight behind the leading crypto exchange, quoting the ancient proverb, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Now, I keep seeing people on crypto Twitter saying, let Coinbase fall. I hope they lose to the SEC. If you're holding crypto, you should never root for that to happen. Because if Coinbase was to lose to the SEC, I believe it could set crypto back at least another year or two. And I'm very critical on Coinbase. You see my previous videos where I talk about what they did to the Wrapped Luna community, how they held back people's Songbird and Flare airdrops, how they were so quick to delist XRP. But I still would root for Coinbase before I ever rooted for the SEC. U.S. crypto regulations force Uphold to preemptively end staking services for U.S. users. Crypto exchange Uphold, which is integrated into the Brave Rewards program of the Brave browser, has sent an email to customers indicating that it will end its staking services to U.S. customers on April 27, 2023. Following recent moves by the SEC to crack down on crypto-related products and companies, Uphold announced that it can't ignore the recent SEC guidance on staking and is thus preemptively ending its staking services. Uphold confirmed that the SEC had not contacted them and is ending its U.S. staking services until there is greater legal and regulatory clarity. And again, you see what's going on here. Now, U.S. customers, U.S. retail investors are being hurt again by the SEC's actions. And I hope this doesn't lead to Uphold the listing XRP at some point. Let's hope that never happens. President Biden has issued his annual economic report. It includes a lengthy, scathing attack on every aspect of digital assets, including Bitcoin. And in related news, no one who actually owns crypto is permitted to work on U.S. government crypto policy. Now, this is hypocrisy, and I'll explain that in a minute. This does not mean that government employees cannot own cryptocurrencies at all. They can, but at the cost of losing out on the opportunity to work on crypto-related policies. However, they can still work on such policies if they divest their investment from crypto into investment options that do not hold the policy's interest. Further explaining the same, the notice read, an employee who holds any amount of cryptocurrency or stablecoin may not participate in a particular matter if the employee knows that particular matter could have a direct and predictable effect on the value of their cryptocurrency or stablecoins. Okay, so it's okay for politicians to use insider trading in the stock market and make a ton of money off of it. But a crypto holder that's also a government employee cannot talk about crypto related policies at all. That is so hypocritical. And think about it. Anybody inside the government who holds crypto probably did research on that crypto, probably understands crypto a lot better than most politicians that are out there. So why would they not allow them to come up with regulations? I'm sure they would have a lot of great ideas. Instead, they're like, nope, if you hold crypto, you cannot be included in this, because they're trying to push crypto out of the U.S. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren alleges that Signature Bank failed because it bought into its get-rich-quick narrative and embraced crypto customers with insufficient safeguards, emphasizing that the bank took excessive risk. Now, most of you already understand that crypto is no longer a get-rich-quick scheme. Most of us have been holding XRP for a long period of time. But she's trying to keep a narrative going that crypto's bad. Crypto's hurting the current banking system. We're trying to keep the banking system safe and keep investors safe. And crypto's hurting us all along the way when we know better. And I believe the reason she keeps pushing this narrative is because she's like Gary Gensler. She wants to keep future investors out of crypto, and she wants to push as many current investors out as she possibly can. They don't want me or you holding crypto, period. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says the banking system is safe. How many of you honestly believe that? I know better than that. White House says President Joe Biden has confidence in Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Now, I believe he has confidence in Powell because the both of them want the same thing. They want that CBDC. They want that level playing field. And they're going to bring it about through an emergency situation at some point, because other politicians are saying, no way, we're not having CBDCs, period. U.S. Senator Ted Cruz proposes CBDC ban amid growing Republican pushback. Unlike decentralized digital currencies like Bitcoin, CBDCs are issued and backed by a government entity and transact on a centralized, permissioned blockchain, Cruz's statement reads. Not only would this CBDC model centralize Americans' financial information, leaving it vulnerable to attack, Cruz added, it could be used as a direct surveillance tool into the private transactions of Americans. Now, I'm starting to see other people push back against CBDCs as well, but I believe they're still going to use that emergency situation to bring one about because nobody's ever going to vote for it. Has Anonymous declared war on Jay Clayton and the US SEC? Hacktivist group Anonymous has declared war on the US SEC, reveals its stance in Ripple's ongoing lawsuit against the SEC. Anonymous makes it clear that the SEC will lose its battle against Ripple and that key components of the SEC's government infrastructure will be hijacked. I'm surprised they haven't hacked into the Hinman documents and released them to the public yet. We're going to follow this as well. So SEC versus Ripple verdict could come at pivotal time for crypto industry. Now, one thing I want to point out is how Ripple was so smart in placing their ads. So this is about Union Station. They also don't know that the ad placement in Union Station is, in fact, quite symbolic. It's located on the exact route commuting security lawyers take on their way to headquarters of Wall Street's top cop, the US SEC, whose lobby is located just down the hall. For nearly 2 years, the SEC has locked into a high-profile lawsuit with Ripple, and the outcome could dictate the scope of crypto enforcement proposed by SEC Chairman Gary Gensler. The ad in Union Station is not just a way for the company to tout its product, it's also a clear message from Ripple to the SEC that it's not backing down. I thought that was great. That's why I wanted to share that with all of you. But as we see the way they're trying to push everybody out of crypto, it makes you wonder, where are we going to be a year from now, or a year or 2 years from now when regulations come? Are they going to push the retail investor out? Are they going to make us invest through accredited investors in the future? I really hope that does not happen. And we're starting to see how innovation is getting killed inside the US. That staking that Uphold is doing away with, that's hurting the retail investor directly. The SEC is not looking out for us, period. But with that said, I'm going to wrap up today's video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you watching my videos. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.